Hey everybody, before we start the review I have 3 things to say. The first thing is, welcome to 2021 everyone. Will this be better than 2020? Who knows. The second thing is quite lengthy, so I'll try to keep this brief. For yearly reviews, I have a guideline for a game that I want to review. Number 1, I have to play it on my PS4. Number 2, I have to finish the game or at least get to a point where I feel I've made my mind on it. And finally, the most important is number 3, I have to finish it by the end of 2020. What this means is that now that it's 2021, any new games that I play can't be eligible for this series. And the final thing is, I'm putting music into my videos, to try and make this seem a bit professional. I will link the music on each review in the video's description. Thank you for your time, and let's get into the review. Hello there, welcome to Yearly Reviews, the show where I review all the games that I've played through the year of 2020. Now, 2020, glad you asked, it's a pandemic, we've got nothing to do, and I was bored. So, without further ado, let's get on to today's review. Horror games have basically been around since the start of the first major consoles, with games like Friday the 13th on NES and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Atari. They weren't good games and only have the movie IP to barely call them horror games, but still they're the earliest that I can find. Whereas nowadays there's a whole heap of horror games. Some are great, some are okay, and some aren't good. But to talk about horror games, we need to talk about the impact of one particular series which I played through, the Amnesia collection. The main storyline of each Amnesia game is different, but still the same general premise. You're lost and can't remember why, and must go to a location to do something which can range from breaking out prisoners, kill someone, or find your lost children. The setting is also different in each game. In The Dark Descent, you're placed in a tower and must make your way through a dungeon, and in The Machine for Pigs, it's placed right at the turn of the 20th century in the Victorian England. So now, allow me to give my thoughts on what I consider to be the best Amnesia game, which is A Machine for Pigs. Someone in the comments is gonna hate me for this. Why I think this is the best Amnesia game is that, although the main plot gets kinda silly at the end, this is still the best story out of any of the Amnesia games. It wasn't too short like in Justine, where you basically play the entire game in 5 minutes, or too long in the case of The Dark Descent. So before we get into my feelings on it, I have to make it clear that I don't hate The Dark Descent. Not to say I find it great as some other people do, but I certainly respect it. But I'm sorry people, I just didn't find it that scary honestly. The whole trying to find light was more tedious than scary, and when you see the monster, albeit it is a creepy design, but the horror wears less and less when you see it constantly. Also, the story isn't that good in my opinion, and I'm really not given any motivation for descending into the darkness aside from regaining memories or killing some guy. So as I said before, I don't hate Amnesia The Dark Descent, I just respect it as a horror game, and great games inspired by such as the Outlast series are pretty good, and the developers would later create Soma, which is one of the best horror games that I played. And hey, maybe Amnesia Rebirth is good or not, I don't entirely know yet. But to make a long story short, Dark Descent's overrated, Justine is not even an experience, and A Machine for Pigs is the best Amnesia game. Please don't tear into me in the comments. Hey there, it seems you made it to the end of the video. If you liked what you saw, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more reviews in the future. If you want to see earlier reviews, you can check out a playlist on my channel which has every review thus far. Also, feel free to go onto my Twitter, which has a thread of tweets showing which games I'm reviewing for this series in under 250 characters. And as always, thanks for watching.